Coming up tonight on the Buddy Martin Show, just a couple of days after the Knoxville game, and where Gator fans are happy, sad, confused. We're going to talk to you tonight about that game and about what went on and the decisions that went into it and what they got out of the team and what they got out of the game. It's going to be a good night. Standing by in the orange and blue room is our friend Chris Doering. He'll join shortly. We've also got the Minister of Information, Graham Hall, will be here. And, of course, what kind of night would it be without the man himself, the Iron Duke, Franz. Stay tuned. Coming your way right now, the Buddy Martin Show. All that, plus a lot more in hearing from the HBC.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye!
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Buddy Martin. This is the Buddy Martin Show, Meldon Law Monday. We're with you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A lot more plans to do other things. Also, the Sunday morning Orange and Blue Blood Show. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, well, you messed up because it's really good. We're getting lots and lots of response. And let me stop right there and say thank you, all you folks who gave us a record day today and subscriptions to GatorBait. Wow, that was impressive. And thank you for the confidence in us and the fact that you support us. And thank you to our company president, Brenden Martin, who did a fabulous job of diving in and finding out how to fix things. If you hadn't got your copy of GatorBait, well, what can I tell you? 14 people signed up today, many of them for the $99 membership. And if you only knew what we had going on, the plans we got, but wow, it's going to be spectacular. So all that plus lots more. So I won't waste any time. We get to right to Chris Doering when he pops on here and talk about the events. I was in Gainesville today. I was at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. I had a chance to accidentally bump into the HBC and saw the signs for his new beer, and I got some. I've got some. You can't really buy it anywhere. Freddie Weeby was nice enough to give us a couple of cans, and we'll be sharing those on the air all week long. Happy of that. And many conversations about what went on in Knoxville. The decision to go for two. When I was up in Gainesville today, I was talking to Freddie Weeby, and Pat Doty came by, and he said, I don't agree with that. I don't think it was the wrong thing to do, but I understand why he did it. And here's the thing. I do agree with it. I not only agree with it, I celebrate it. And what makes this team so special is they are willing to put it on the line. And by doing that, by going for two in that situation, you're telling your team, I will do everything I can do to help you win this game. I know sometimes the math is funky. We've got Billy on here in just a minute if I were going to play the bite for you. He explains it. I don't completely comprehend his reasoning. I don't know. Maybe it's just my thick brain, but he says he's got analytics on his side, and we'll listen to the bite, what he said. And then we'll talk here, the HBC, talk a little bit about what he thinks about, talk about his new beer, just a couple of minutes. It's going to be a terrific show tonight. So I want to thank our sponsors, Meldon Law, our friends over there at Meldon who have supported the program for a long time. Let's get right to it and hear from Jeffrey Meldon and his announcement about a very important thing.
A breaking story, okay?
All right.
So this year, my wife Patricia and I are chair people for the Alzheimer's Association. And Meldon Law was founded in 1971. So for every free throw made this year by both the men's basketball team and women's basketball team, Meldon Law is donating $19.71 to the Alzheimer's Foundation.
Nice. What's the 1971? When you started the law firm?
Yes.
Very good. That's a great story and a great idea. And it couldn't be for a better cause, because we know how devastating that disease is to a lot of people and families. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Meldon Law, he does a lot of nice things. Where you matter most.
I know. Hey, buddy, we're just trying to keep our own minds straight, right?
And that's the truth. I might need your help, so I'll give you a call. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Okay, man.
Jeffrey Meldon, Meldon Law, and their slogan is, won't back down. Where have you heard that before? Okay. In just a moment, we'll have Chris Doering joining us. It looks like Chris might be there, and we're going to do this. Well, let's do this. Let's just go right to the Orange and Blue Room and talk to the man of the hour himself, Chris Doering from the ESPN Network, the analyst. And I know he had a good comment about Tennessee and about Florida, and he didn't quite think Florida would get it done. I went out on a limb and picked Florida and said at the very least I think they'll cover. And I picked to win 24-21. I was wrong. But I got out of the game what I wanted to see. Let's find out whether Chris did or not. Chris Doering, our good friend, done a great job on ESPN and SEC now. Here's Chris. Hello, Coach.
Hey, man. How are you, buddy?
Thank you for being on tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to be with you guys, man. What's up?
Well, a lot. I've got a bite here I'm going to play in a minute. I want you to hear it. Maybe you've already heard it. Billy Napier explaining his decision. And as I said, I was talking earlier today at Spurrier's Grill and Grill about this, and some people said, well, I don't agree with it. The HBC had a little different view of it, by the way. Matter of fact, he said it in the interview, which is about 2 minutes long. I wish I'd have done it more. So I will get your take on it. We'll talk about it. It's gone now, but bigger than the decision to go for two, math, whether you want to do the math and figure it out. I know the book doesn't say you're supposed to do it that way. But to me, the message he sent to his team, I felt like, was one he wanted to see. There's a video out tonight called Run to the Fight. It's quite good. This is a message. This is his way of running to the fight. Not only did I like his decision to do that, I love the fact he went after the Zebras. I think the fans did too. I mean, yeah, it cost his team, sort of. So those are the kind of things I think coaches, players, players too, fans want to see from their coach. Chris, it's all yours.
Well, I mean, a couple things. I don't agree with going for two right there. I think that was clearly the wrong decision. I'd be interested to hear what the explanation was about why you go for two there. But I also, the mismanagement of the timeout before halftime was questionable to me as well. I think that's the situation where you got to wait till after third down when you only have one timeout left to use it. So I don't know if he commented on that or not. But, the message to his team didn't come from going for two there. It didn't come from going after the referees. It came from going for it on fourth down 6 times. It came from, going for it and being aggressive on fourth down and throwing a pass down the sideline to Justin Shorter. It came from, betting on your quarterback. Like, those are things that fired me up. The fact that he was putting the game in Anthony Richardson's hands in a lot of different cases, not to run the ball necessarily, but to make big throws when we haven't seen any proof over the last 2 weeks that he's even capable of that. I thought this was a huge opportunity for Anthony Richardson to grow in a hostile environment. I thought his footwork in the pocket, sliding to keep plays alive, getting outside, keeping his eyes down the field to let receivers uncover, throwing accurately on the run. Those were all things that I was really encouraged by. And I think not only did Anthony Richardson grow from this, I think the Florida team did. And I said it on Saturday on our show, the University of Florida football program is not one that celebrates moral victories, but I actually felt really good about the way that the game finished up. And it goes back to something I said after the Utah game. I talked to you about this, buddy. The resiliency is something that I did not see last year, and I see it as a direct reflection, the fingerprint of Billy Napier on this team, the way that they fight, regardless of what happens, the negative, the bad plays, things looking bleak with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, down 17. There's no give up in this team. Florida will recruit better players. They'll develop their players they have more. They'll become more on the same level of some of the top teams in the SEC. But from the fight standpoint, I see it already, and that's something that you either create or you don't create. And going forward, there's a culture that's now set, an expectation for what it means to play football at the University of Florida. That's to fight for a full 60 minutes plus.
And if you haven't seen the video, I would. It just came out tonight. It's part of their Journey series they're doing. It's called Run to the Fight. And it was quite an interesting. Where are the dogs tonight, by the way? I miss them.
They're right here. They're right here.
Is that Scooby or who is that? Which one is that?
This is, I do have Scooby here with me. I got mine, Butter. So I'm gone 4 nights a week, and he's like the neediest dog in the world when I get home.
Well, Daddy, you got to pay attention. Come on now.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so here's the answer to your question. Let's first go, other than me talking about it, let's hear Billy's explanation, all right?
I think I'm glad you asked that question, because I think I probably got more questions about that than anything else. But, there's 2 avenues when you really dig into the numbers about the approach there. First of all, you start talking about playing for a tie, right? When you're on the road, there's a slight advantage for the home team in overtime, right? And then there's certainly a bigger advantage when you're a 2-score favorite, right? I think it's about around 63% advantage if you're the home team playing overtime and you're a 2-point favorite or a 2-score favorite. So that goes into your decision making. And really all you're trying to do is declare the path earlier in the game, right? So you go for 2 there, and if you get it, you're at 9. Okay, now you're in position to win the game with an extra point, whereas if you don't get it, now you're still 2 scores with an additional opportunity to go for 2, right? So if you kick it, ultimately the numbers are going to tell you to go for 2 to win the game anyway at the end of the game, right? So you're just declaring the path quicker, and then that gives you a chance to adjust your strategy the rest of the game. So, this is pretty common in this era, right? And probably the last 5 years this has happened a number of times. So I think it's all well thought out of, and really going into the game, we're very aware of all the go for 2 situations and what goes with that.
So the chart is set up long before the game, and it changes week.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all relative to the dynamic of the game, how much time's left in the game, the matchups going into the game.
How about venue with that too? Like you said,
Yeah, road.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no question.
Okay, so I'm not completely understanding that. I think I do. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I can understand it. I don't agree with it still. Maybe it's old school in me, and he mentioned that it's more recent in the last 5 years or so. But it's like, to me, buddy, sitting at the blackjack table, I always hit on 16 against a 7 or more. But there are some people, that'll decide to stay on that. I don't agree with it. But if you do it every single time, I guess I'm okay with it. So if he's going to be consistent with this going forward, then that's who he is, and that's the approach he's going to take with his team. He certainly has every right to do that. Sounds like it's well thought out with support of the analytics. But for me, I'm a little old school as it relates to going for 2.
I'm the get off my lawn guy here, Chris. Come on now. You're supposed to be the new think. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I think his message got across. I can't tell you how many fans I've talked to. I talked to a lot of fans before the game. Said maybe they ought to bench, and you even said yourself, maybe they ought to bench Anthony, and I've had people say they need to get a play caller. One person, they ought to fire him. I mean, they're all over the place. These fan base. I think it might have been you that said last week, somebody said, when they beat Utah, you go win the Nationals championship. When you lose, somebody else lose a game, fire the coach. There's such extremes in the fan base. Chris, you know this better than anybody. You get it. You have a lot of followers on Twitter. You do the national show. You get it. And, there's maybe a little homer in some of us here. But truly, I did feel like they were going to play a good game. I just felt like they had something inside of them. I think what's important here, and you mentioned it too, we found out who Billy Napier is, and he found out who his team is. And he found out he had a quarterback. Those are very important things.
Yeah, let me first. I never said to bench AR. I was, I don't even know.
No, I didn't say you did. I said a lot of
Yeah.
people did. Yeah.
I thought, maybe having the opportunity to leave Gainesville, to be away from it, the pressure that Anthony has, not only being the quarterback at the University of Florida, but being from Gainesville, the expectation that either is on him from other people here or he thinks is on him from other people here, maybe was weighing on him, going into a hostile environment where people aren't expecting much of you. I love playing in the swamp, buddy, but I actually love playing on the road a little bit more. I love being hated by the fans. I love, having that adversity that you got to meet. And sometimes it makes your level of focus raise a little bit. That environment, I wasn't there, obviously, but for those that were, they said it was unbelievable. And so those are the days that I miss the most, not being out there. And, clearly these guys stepped up. And not just AR, let's talk about Justin Shorter making plays time and time again. Let's talk about Ricky Pearsall making plays. Let's talk about Keon Zipperer making plays. Not only what a
play he made on that reception for the touchdown.
Yeah, but how many times do you go back and watch him be the point man on some of these blocks when they're running some of the truck plays outside? He's the guy that's driving dudes 15 yards back. So there's a lot of guys that stepped up and elevated their play. Certainly the defense has got to get better, but I was really proud of Ventrell Miller, just for being out there.
What a warrior! What a warrior, man!
Absolute, one of my favorite players ever play football in the orange and blue. So I just I have a lot of respect for this team. I'm excited. They exceeded my expectation level.
Yeah.
I made the comment on Feinbaum, and I said it to you the other day. I think they lose by 17 to 21. It was on the verge of going that way, and then all of a sudden they found a little bit of fight. So I'm proud of them, man. I never thought the game was in doubt, because I don't think would have gotten a stop defensively. I mean, Tennessee and Hendon Hooker was fabulous too. And for those,
he was.
You can't discount what he did, but I never really felt like we were going to be able to get a stop when we needed to.
Yeah, and that's why Billy left his offense on the field. He felt the same way, obviously.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop. Let me get to a couple of fine points here on things that I want to discuss with you. One of them, let's talk about this term moral victory. I think we're miscasting this. Because, and even Billy says in his post-game locker room talk, there's a new think out there that when you do the right things and you get the right, you practice the right way, the right principle, you give all your effort, and you don't win the game because of something, you don't need to feel bad about it. Because the result didn't come out like you wanted, but you did what it took to win. It just didn't fall your way. So you say moral victory, there needs to be another term that we can use besides moral victory. I think it was a very uplifting game because of what happened, like I just said, and I feel like Billy Napier found something.
Well, I agree with you. It was an uplifting game, but you said they did what they needed to do to win. They did not.
No, I said they needed to do what they did to win. I didn't say they did do it.
But I will say this. You go back and look, buddy, at the tape, there's like 6 or 7 plays that could have been made on offense, certainly a lot more on defense. Like, the game was as good as I think Tennessee is, and their defense, the secondary is not great, but as good as I think they are capable of being this year, like, Florida could have won those games. They made a bunch of plays when they needed to, but they were, an elusive 6 or 7 that were probably there that could have changed the outcome as well. And
that's what Billy said.
Billy
Yeah,
but that's part of the growth process. I don't give a damn what the record is this year. And I said it before. I think Florida's an 8-4, 7-5 team this year. If they go 8-4, that's a tremendous season. But what I want to see is growth, which I've seen. What I want to see is fight, which I've seen. What I want to see is excitement around the program, which I've seen, and people want to come be a part of this program. So this is, to me, year 0 for Billy Napier. I don't care about what the ultimate year looks like other than those measuring sticks that I want to see.
Well, it's kind of what I'm saying about the Tennessee game, in a way. And I want to get to a point. You were part of this over the years. The pure dominance of a team that's once considered once your number one rival, one time. And the numbers, the 69 and 70, and on and on and on. When that game got late and things started happening, I'll never forget the look in Josh Heupel's eyes. I saw a lot of fear. Oh no! And they cut to the stands and the fans like, this can't be happening to us again. The Gators are going to beat us again. That's what you got going for you, right there. And so I love that aggressiveness. I love the fact that when you're pitching it in the end zone to try to win the game, you done it. You played pretty well. You had a shot, and on the road.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's all okay, good, whatever. I just think they could have lost the game by a point, and not played white, not been aggressive. I hated how they played against USF. I didn't like the way they played, and Anthony had handcuffs on. For whatever reason, he hurt, he's this, he's that. But I really like the style. Like I have a friend who says, Lauren Meadows, style makes the fight.
Yeah.
And I think the style of the Florida Gators was very good, and I heartily support it. I loved how he's coaching. We'll see. Let's hear what your former coach said real quick. It's a short little thing, and see what he had to say about, first of all, he got his new beer out, all right? So this is the beer, head beer coach. Coach is coming right now. We're going to go live with this.
Live.
Here it is right here. This is head beer coach. Premium quality, 1 pint. Coach, what's in that thing?
What?
Well, I can't tell you exactly what's in it, except we went down to First Magnitude Brewery here in Gainesville, and I gave them I gave them 3 beers that I like, and I don't think I should tell everybody what they're like. They might say, you can't do that. Yeah. So anyway, they came up with a concoction, and I think the second time they came up with one, I said, man, you've hit it on the nail here. This is the kind of beer I like, and I think everyone will also. And it's not a dark beer or heavy beer. It's not a light beer. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's just a good beer taste if you like the taste of beer.
Well, I have tasted it. I was here for dinner recently with my friends, Randy Briggs and Wayne Call. I had some, and upon your recommendation, I must say, I'm not just being gratuitous, is very good.
Yeah.
I will have more. In fact, I want to try to sneak a couple again today, so I could tell our listeners to read.
Oh no, you're driving. I'm gonna have a couple of the beers. So.
Coach, good to see you again.
Okay, buddy. All right.
And let's see what this Gator football team's going to do. They acquitted themselves pretty well there, I thought, didn't you?
Yeah, we got to get through Eastern Washington, and then we get back winning some conference games. When's the last time we won a conference game?
Well, that's a good trivia question.
That's a good trivia question.
Right?
Yeah, Meldon lost, 4 in a row there at the end or so forth?
Yeah.
So,
well, there you go, folks. There's your trivia question there for Coach Spurrier.
When's the last time we lost 6 in a row?
Well, no, when you won, last time we won a conference game.
That'd be a good trivia question right now.
So you having Tuesday trivia here regularly, or what do you do?
No, when I'm in town, have a chance to come by, we usually have a trivia question. Yeah.
Coach, congratulations on the restaurant.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right, thanks for giving a little plug for our beer.
Yeah. What do you think? Can you remember the last conference?
Now I got you, buddy.
It's my bad. I had the button off. I couldn't come up with the last game.
It had to be somebody before LSU, probably, right?
Yeah, I just trying to remember. I won't look it up now, but I thought, well, I should know that, but I didn't. So, yeah, that's good trivia question to look up. Meanwhile, all right, so let's talk about what's ahead. 8 games. Eastern Washington, as Coach calls it. That game might not be played. You're in Gainesville, right?
I'm here right now. I'm trying to figure out when I need to leave to go back.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, what are you gonna do there? What's your plan?
I wanted to be home, man. I just literally walked in the door here a couple hours ago, and now I got to turn around and head out, I think. So maybe try to leave Wednesday morning, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when that thing is going to hit. So it's the flooding they're worried about. Now, I'm not a weather forecaster. I only play one on TV. But anyway, be safe up there. And you should be away from it going to Charlotte, right?
Well, I think I'm going to get, hopefully it doesn't delay me here. It's going to make me go out early, and it may make me wait there in Charlotte because it's supposed to go right through there after it comes through North Central Florida.
Why don't you drive to Jacksonville? Well, of course, that won't help either, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, all right. So let's talk a little bit about, we got about a minute. Let's talk a little bit about, what do you want to talk about? The Arkansas game and Jimbo and how you got kind of, I won't say lucky, but...
I've never seen a game where you look at every statistical category and everything on there would lead you to believe that Arkansas won the football game. I thought Arkansas dominated the offensive line, the line of scrimmage there, both lines of scrimmage. KJ Jefferson inexplicably tries to jump from the 4, stretches the ball out. It comes out, and they go the other way. It's a 14-point swing. It was about to be 21-7. The game was about to be over with.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, defensively, they get back in. I will say the other thing for their defense, they're really good in the red zone. They're the number 1 team in the SEC when it comes to red zone scoring and touchdown percentage scoring allowed down there. So they clearly are able to hold teams out of that part of the field. But I'm just not impressed with this A&M team, and I think Mississippi State beats them handily this week.
I don't believe in A&M either. It's hard to say. Arkansas, I think it's a little bit of a paper doll. There's a lot of teams that out there that are 3-0 or 3-1, whatever, that are curious. Florida being 2-2 and having played 3 ranked teams is got to be worse. Yeah.
Can you remember a September, a first month of the season that's had a more difficult schedule for Florida than what they had this year?
Nope.
I mean, I ridiculously hard.
Never remember one. No. That's why it was called. I don't know this, but I read it was the toughest September schedule in the country. Mm-hmm. If you're going to cut your teeth on the schedule, Billy has. I mean, it's a tough go there. So
well, it's kind of different. You look at what Ole Miss did. Their first month of the season was very much opposite, and so it'll be interesting to see, which of those teams that's undefeated right now, Ole Miss and Kentucky, are the better team.
What do you
I've
think?
sided with Kentucky. I'm on a Kentucky.
You're going to stick with your Kentucky boys,
Yeah.
Bluegrass boys. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with them in this one.
Well,
but,
that's a good
well.
pick. That's a good pick by you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit crazy right now to think about the teams that have lost, who they've lost to. I want nuts, but anyway, I think it was an okay September for Florida. It wasn't the one we'd wished for. I thought they'd be either Utah, or they beat Kentucky, and they did. Of course, they beat the wrong team in the conference, but of course, tough loss. Chris,
hey, buddy, they could have been 0-4. I mean, you look at the close games for USF and Utah. I'll take 2-2 all day long with that schedule.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. I think you're absolutely right there, and I like what they're playing. I like to see Anthony Richardson play like he played, so that was really fun to watch. My man, we'll be watching you and checking in with you. How's Dory Doko to work with?
Dory's the best, man. He's the ultimate professional, man. The John Stockton of television broadcasting, man, just completely smooth and sets everybody else up for success.
Yeah. Well, Peter's got a little ways to go with me, but I like Dory. We'll see.
Peter's a good guy.
I'm sure he is.
More the creative guy. We mess with him all the time because he struggles to speak the English language, but he's incredibly creative.
Well, listen, have you talked to Chiz, by the way? Did he say save that seat for me? Tell you that last time?
I did not bother him after that Notre Dame game, so I'm not sure where I know they got to upgrade talent. They need some talent there in Chapel Hill.
Always looks good in those games, and you're sitting there in the booth, and you get there, and you remember how painful it is to lose a game.
I'm sure.
I tell you. Chris, great job as always. I really enjoy you on
buddy.
the SEC Network. Hope we get to do this again sometime down the road.
Sounds good.
Enjoy your comments. Be well, my friend. Stay out of that storm, all right? Take care.
All right, man. See you. Bye-bye.
Chris Doering doing his thing as he always does. Appreciate it very much, Chris, joining us. We're going to go, we're going to give you this, and we're going to make him hungry. I want to ask him about Miami. Woo-hoo! People are really unhappy about that. If you're a Miami Hurricane fan, Dolphin fans are happy. But the Minister of Information, let's just go ahead and bring him on, and I'll show him my greens and make him hungry. It would be Graham Hall, the Minister of Information, joins the program. Graham, how are you? Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, buddy, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, man. Good to be back.
Yeah, let me show you a sign here. What do you think about this? Right, this has got my attention. I don't know if that was a fake one or what, but it might have been one from the old days. Why University of Miami should drop football. I mean, Cristobal was being hailed as the next superstar coach, especially by my friend Paul Feinbaum. Didn't go that way, did it?
It's a little bit rough, I think, around the edges. I think they're also kind of dealing with a little bit of what Billy Napier is kind of dealing with right now, cleaning up from the past regime. And I think that also people with Cristobal, there still have been, I think, some questions about him as a coach. I think he's a terrific recruiter, but really wasn't particularly a winning coach at Oregon. I think that he still had a lot to work on, and now, not I think something that you want to be known for, being the first ranked team to lose to Middle Tennessee State. That is not a noteworthy honor.
I've got a little note here. It says breaking. It says, with Hurricane Ian looming offshore. This is not even a funny part. This is supposed to be a little hurricane humor. State officials in Florida and FEMA have reached out to Scott Frost, Jeff Collins, and Dan Mullen on how to evacuate tens of thousands of people in less than an hour.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then finally, this one. This is the only ranked team ever to lose to Middle Tennessee State is these guys right here. Whoops. I got to rub it in a little bit. Here's the thing that's different about Cristobal and Napier. Napier's doing it in front of 90,000. Cristobal's doing it in front of what looks like about 10,000. Pathetic home crowds in Miami, which is what I've always said about Miami for 100 years. Their fans suck, okay? If they're riding high and they're number 1 or 2 in the country like they used to be, they'll have a couple of games where they'll sell it out. They're awful college football fans down there. So you're seeing it, you're tasting it, that's how it is. Life is not good in Miami right now for football fans. So.
Yeah, their starting quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke. He was their starting quarterback until, the first half of that game against Middle Tennessee State. He said he preferred playing on
road games,
away stadiums rather than home because it was a true college atmosphere. But we love college football for the 90,000 strong, the 101,900 strong that it was up there in Knoxville this past weekend. That's what is so great about college football.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I get a little sick of people pumping up Miami and talking about, they're the U and all that. And I loved it back when all 3 teams were winning. I loved it when Florida and Florida State and Miami were all, top 10, whatever. It was great. But that day ain't going to be here anytime soon, so we'll see. All right, so give me your take on the game. I know you have an opinion about they're going for 2. We've discussed that a lot. Talk about how Anthony Richardson played. Let me give you the microphone here for a minute and just give me your take.
I thought it was a better performance by Anthony Richardson. I think everyone saw that. It wasn't a perfect performance by any means. Completed just 55% of his passes. He fumbled the ball again, which protecting the football is going to be a consistent thing with him, whether it's as a runner, a guy who is prone to getting out in the open field. And I think ball security is going to be a thing for him. But I think he was much better. 450 plus passing yards is certainly nothing to scoff at. That puts him third most in all-time total offense in a game for Florida, which is certainly impressive. But we've seen 2 of those 3 in the past 6 games now. You go back to Emory Jones doing it against Samford last year. I know that a lot of people, are certainly looking for progress from him, but the fact of the matter is it's wins and losses that ultimately are going to judge this team. And so while it's good to see progress out of him, Florida wasn't able to keep up the pace with Tennessee. They also didn't get too much from their ground game, just 79 yards on 25 carries outside of Richardson. That's a 3.1 yards per carry average. That's not good enough when your quarterback, needs some help there to lead the offense on the road. So I think that it shows how much work Florida has to do. Still some miscommunication issues on defense. I thought it was awesome that Ventrell Miller played. He's in a whole lot of pain. So for him to take the field, I thought that was just awesome to see. And you saw how vital he was, being in on both of those fumble recoveries. Forced one, recovered the other, hurried the quarterback twice. I thought he had a really good game. Had to leave the field there for a little bit, but when he was out there, you saw how important he was for Florida. And last thing I'll say, they got to keep playing a lot of these younger guys. I think that from Shamar James to Devin Moore, and then the big one for me on Saturday was Chris McClellan, the true freshman. Tackles of any of the defensive linemen. For him, just his 4th game. He's played all 4 games of his college career now. So, talk about a red shirt. I mean, you're talking about how much is he actually going to be able to play moving forward for the rest of the season. So, a lot for Florida to build off of. They need to have a chance to get their confidence back this weekend if this game does happen before they play LSU and get back to SEC action against Missouri. So that's what I thought about the game. I thought that Florida rallied well and they had a good plan, but just couldn't execute fully. And, how great it would have been, though, I'll say, if Florida had somehow managed to squeak another one out on the final play of the game against the Volunteers. I mean, they would have just been feeling like they were absolutely cursed in this matchup.
Agree 100%. And by the way, somebody wants to say hi to you.
What up, Grandpa? My favorite. What's up? Starbar's open. Starbar's open. I need to pay my bar tab before that guy, what's his name, from the Weather Channel comes to the town.
Is he done yet?
Hunker down, Gators!
No, he's not.
All right, got the crazy out of the way.
Brenden.
All right, listen. He's excited because we had a record number of people signed up today for Gator Bait. That was very impressive.
Wonderful.
He's the president there. Were you doing all right? How are things at 247? And what can you tell us about your new gig?
I'm doing great. It's going great. Been here for 3 months now. Thoroughly enjoy it. Working with the team and the community has been fantastic. I got to say, though, we're going to have a lot more coverage starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is the start of college basketball. Florida starts preseason camp. You'll expect to start seeing some features from players, and we'll be able to view practice. So I'll have a lot of practice threads and a lot of coverage at Swamp 247. Really looking forward to this season and having a lot of content, writing features on all the guys and the team. It's going to be a very exciting year. I have a pretty good feeling about this team. Got to stay healthy, of course.
Well, as long as you brought it up, let me ask you about Todd. Let me ask you about Todd Golden's squad. I was over at Steve Spurrier's today. I saw a parking place. He had basketball coach Todd Golden. I thought, criminy, it's not that far away, right?
No, absolutely not. It's right around the corner. We're going to get that fantastic month between, late October to the end of really November where you have basketball and football going on at the same time. And that's one of my favorite times of the year. So really looking forward to it. I know that Todd Golden's really looking forward to getting started and seeing what this team does and installing some defensive stuff that they've really kind of worked on a good bit, but really haven't got as intricate as they would like. So really
you're pretty excited about some of the new guys, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Fudge is someone who I think has all SEC potential. This is a guy who is a dynamic shot blocker, can shoot the three-pointer, can finish in transition, has a ton of length. He gives Florida something at the four that, no offense to Anthony DeRuggi or any of the other guys, but Florida really hasn't had a four with his size who can get up and block shots just like Colin Castleton can. So I think that's a really encouraging duo that Florida can have down there on the block this season. And then Will Richard, that's a guy who, I think that maybe people don't realize how good he could actually be this season. I think he is going to start for Florida. If he doesn't start, he's going to play 20 to 30 minutes a night. So I absolutely get a sense that they made some key additions to the transfer portal along with the guys coming back, Myron Jones, Colin Castleton. If this team stays healthy, I think that they can surprise a whole lot of people this year.
Graham Hall, 247 Sports. Good job.
Graham Hall, everybody. Graham Hall.
You have your own personal cheerleader.
Graham Hall, same room. 3 years later, it's just a different hairdo.
You know it. Yeah, I got it.
You look like you're using teeth whitener in your new gig. Is that true?
Oh, that's too kind. I got it. I wish they looked a little bit better, but hey, gradual improvement, right?
Those choppers look
Don't
good.
embarrass the guy.
The choppers look good.
Yeah, not as good as
I'll let you go.
You're my favorite.
I know you don't get tired of it.
You're my favorite, Graham Hall.
Yeah, big favorites. Don't tell
big
buddy.
star right there.
All right, Graham.
We're gonna go for drinks one day.
Thank you, buddy. Take care. Graham Hall.
Take
care, very
guys.
much, Graham. And
I did
coming
that.
aboard.
That's Arsenio Hall.
We've got our guy coming on here.
Yeah, this is my guy.
I'm going to talk about my grow tower first.
I feel like Franz
Can I
likes
just
me
say this
more.
about my grow tower, please, before you get in jump? Take the
I'm gonna roll that thing in here.
Yeah, well,
Buddy grows green things in the other
I had
room.
a great
That's
salad.
all I'm saying.
Great salad tonight.
salad.
My tree was absolutely fabulous. And Miss Tony made it for me. This is what it looks like an indoor. Franz gets hungry every time I do this because I know. Well, we're going to take him to lunch soon. Or I told him today you're taking him to lunch. So.
We got to make sure we have power in the next 48 hours.
There you go.
Let's just do that.
Let's see if we can get this back up and get it working.
Oh, what'd you do now?
I don't know. This thing is sticking on me here. Hold on.
Oh boy, you got to use two hands, buddy. It's a two-hand job.
Yeah.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, the stick.
There you go. All right, there we go. There it is.
All right, get that off
your
of there.
green stuff
get
and
that off of there, and then we get Franz.
All right.
I want to show the final product, please.
Okay. Oh, excuse me.
If you don't
Final
mind.
product.
If you don't mind, I want to show you the final product.
Hey, while you're doing that, I want to say thank you to Joe Blackburn. I was just named admin of Gator Nation, one of his groups, and so Gator Nation Swamp News, and we are building a sovereign Gator Nation out there, everybody. One group at a time. Let's say what's up to G and K, my peeps, and we're all peeps and we're all Gators. In all seriousness, with the storm coming in and all sorts of weather, we all stick together. I know we're all in the same sort of area. Let's look out for each other, okay? What's up, Franz? How are you, brother?
Hey, good to see you, Brenden.
Dude, Franz Beard, the Iron Dude, coolest guy ever. What's up, Franz? I can't live. I hear it fine. I can't live without my thoughts of the day. By the way, love my thoughts of the day. If you don't know what that is, it's because you're not a member of the coolest website ever at Gatorbait Media, where Franz writes literally a column a day that I wake up and have coffee and I read it every day. Franz Beard, what's up, Franz?
Well, another interesting press conference from Billy Napier. I thought that today, I think he really did a great job handling the thoughts about the 2-point conversion. It is exactly what I said. He said, hey, we were going for the win from the beginning. It was on the road. He says we play it differently. We're at home. We would have played for the tie. But we went for the win, and I understand that. And you know what? I talked to a couple coaches today who said, yeah, that's that's aggressive thinking, and can't blame him for that.
Yeah, I like this answer. I love the way they played. You can do all the analyticals you want. I didn't quite understand his explanation. You were there, but it's okay. I get it. To me, and I said this earlier to Chris Doering, and he didn't agree with me. I love their attitude. Did you see that video they just put out called "Run to the Fight"? It's his fourth chapter of the Journey stuff, where he told the players to run to the fight, and that was the message that stood out with me because when he went for it. By the way, I talked to Coach Spurrier today. He said, "We." Okay, well, I guess I was asking a question of him about.
But I was there. I was in that conversation, just so you know. Coach and I were chilling.
Well, you want to tell the story then? Go ahead.
No, I just wanted you to know that I was there.
Okay, it makes me feel better that you were there.
Yeah.
And the point was that he said, I said, do you think he went for it too many times? I mean, 5 or 6. He says, well, I don't know. He says, to be honest with you, I wish I'd gone for it a few more times.
Yeah.
Think about that.
He was 5 for 6 on 4th down.
I know.
And when you're 5 for 6 on 4th down, you look at this thing and you're saying to yourself, okay, a 2-point conversion. Hey, we can make that too. We've been killing them on this play all day. And here's the thing: if Keon Zipper, who wasn't getting the ball, he ran the wrong route. If Keon Zipper doesn't stick his hand up there, they get the 2-point conversion. You know what? And now all of a sudden everybody's saying, that damn Billy Napier's a genius.
Now you kick the field goal and you win the game.
You got it. So,
well, I asked him, Franz. I asked Coach. I said, the first drive, you go down 80 yards, and you don't kick a field goal. How do you feel about that? And I love his honesty, and he's just, he's just like, well, Brenden, I can't disagree with it. I can't disagree with it. That's what he says.
Well, here's the thing. You get the touchdown on that opening drive. I tell you what, it's a dagger in the heart of that Vol Nation. They shut up, and it's kind of like, buddy, we were there back when Lane Kiffin was the head coach there. Lane Kiffin, talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. Was it Lane Kiffin or was it 2007? It was a 2008 game. Sorry about that. We go up there. Florida wins that. Yeah, the last year of Fatus Maximus. We go up there and Florida wins that ball game, and Urban just drove it down their throats unmercifully, and basically said, he was there with the attitude that the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shut them up. We are going to absolutely, positively shut them up. And it went from a zoo, which we remember, we were all there. I don't know if you guys recall, but we were in the parking deck where they had the media.
Yeah, we walked in. I remember.
Walking in and people saying, You think you could trade coaches with you guys?
Yeah, so we'd like to have us an Urban Meyer, remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And but they showed up. They were loud and boisterous. And Urban said in his post-game remarks, the first thing that was on his mind, run it down their throats, shut the crowd up immediately. And they did. And that's what Billy was trying to do also. So I can't blame him for that. And the fact that he had moved the ball so successfully on them, that said a lot as well. So I think, of course, he would have much rather have had the touchdown to go with it. And I think if they had gotten to a second, fourth down, depending on where it was, he might have kicked the field goal. But I think he was trying to send a statement to his players as well as the Tennessee crowd saying, you know what? You don't intimidate us. We're going to kick your ass.
Yeah! We're going to kick your ass!
I remember I asked Bobby Stoops, 10 years after, about his experience. The experience he had when he went there in 2006. I believe it was 6. And he said he remembered the game where he just had that flashback where Riedel Anthony caught the touchdown pass, leapt into the stands and kissed a girl. And he said that was a thought that came to him. And Riedel was an incredible player. But he didn't get proper. Some of the things he did, he was unselfish. He really, whatever Spurrier was going to call his number in the game against FSU, he said, give it to Riedel. Give it to Ike. Let Ike do it. Because Ike had a terrible game against FSU, and so he wanted Ike to get it. Riedel was a heck of a player and probably never got the credit he deserved, but that was his way of enjoying it. Catch a touchdown pass, go right into the end zone, nail it, and kiss the girl as he goes up. All in one spell.
That's kind of my move.
Yeah. I think that all things considered, everybody had resigned themselves to Florida getting blown out.
Yeah.
Florida didn't get blown out. We can talk all you want to about, they should have done this, they should have done that. They lost by 3 at Neyland to a team that was favored to beat them by double digits. And quite frankly, it's a game they gave away, and they know damn good and well they should have walked in there and absolutely destroyed the Vols. This is why I'm laughing my ass off at all these people talking about, boy, Tennessee's back. Tennessee's back. Tennessee just gave up 453 passing yards to a quarterback who couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle from point blank range the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I was proud of how he played, and I think he was proud, and I know Billy was proud. Let me just mention something. There's a picture of it there, Brenden, I believe. I want to point out something. This is something, Franz, I know you got something, and I'm going to order myself one. We got some merchandise now. There is some of it right there, which we want people to know about. And we got a web address, but we can't seem to get it on the page.
Stop. We do. It's in the chat room, everybody. It's in the chat room. It's this link right here, everyone.
Yeah. So I've got a number of people who asked me about that in emails. We do have merchandise.
I responded to them, just so you know.
And yes, you did. He's feeling cocky today, Franz, because he's got a new secret.
No, because I'm the president.
They got 14 subscriptions today in a record day.
I'm the president.
Yeah, so.
No, I'm cocky because I hung out with Spurrier and with Freddie and saw Dooley, and they were all just like, "What up, Brenden?" And I'm like, "What's up?"
Yeah, sure you were.
That was. That's
okay.
Cool.
So you make a good point there, and I think it's. I don't know. I haven't talked to you since the game. I've said this numerous times. I hope I'm not boring everybody. Don't get hung up on this thing called moral victory. No, there are no moral victories, and Billy said that twice the other night. But I'm going to say there's something else called progress. Maybe you don't claim a moral victory, but I think if I asked you to tell me how you felt about things, I said, Franz, size it up. This team, they know more who they are. They know more about who their quarterback is. And Napier was really proud of this team. He said, we put the ball down with 70 guys, and we competed. That may not be a moral victory, but it is a great sign of progress, which I think is about as happy as you can be when you lost and you gave it your best. Don't you agree?
Well, here's what I would say. There's no such thing as a moral victory, but you can make a statement, and this team has made a statement. They are 2-2. Yes, they are. But they're the only team in the country that's played 3 ranked teams in the month of September. They beat one of them, should have beaten both of the other ones. They're 2-2. Yes, they could be 0-4, certainly. They could be 1-3, 2-2. They could be 4-0. The fact of the matter is, some of it's being done with smoke and mirrors, but it's going to get better. It will get better. I've followed what he has done through his first year at Louisiana, and there were growing pains, just like what we've got right now. I asked him today, I said, some of these blown coverages, you talked about one guy missing it and everything. Does some of it have to do with communication? And he said, oh yeah, some of it is communication. He said, however, we did have 2 guys on 2 big pass plays that just flat out blew the coverage. And this is the thing. You look at what happened in the Kentucky game. The one touchdown pass that we gave up, long 55-yard touchdown pass. No safety over the top. There's supposed to be a safety over the top. Jalen Kimber did everything he could in a one-on-one situation and damn near came down with the football. But if the safety's back there, that ball has no chance to be completed. Florida gave that game away. Florida gave this game away. I think that they will stop giving games away. We got to hope that they do sooner and not later. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to stop giving games away. They're going to be a better football team. The fact that, look, they're 2-2 right now. And there's an awful lot of folks out there who thought the Gators would be 1-3 right now. A lot of folks at the beginning of the year said, if the Gators are 2-2 coming out of September, then Billy is an absolute miracle worker. Well, we're 2-2. Should be no worse than 3-1. Could be 4-0. So is he a miracle worker? Not yet. But is he getting close to having this team become the team that nobody really wants to play? Well, if I'm a defensive coordinator right now and I just watched what Anthony Richardson did, if I just watched what Justin Shorter just did, what Ricky Pearsall just did, and if I've seen the previous 2 weeks when I saw what Travis Etienne and Montrell Johnson Jr. did, then I'm saying to myself, I don't want to play these guys. I don't want to have to try to beat them in a shootout.
Yeah, all right, so I'm going to do this now, friends. I'm going to tell folks about Red Star and about some of the great things like the psoriasis study they're doing and all about how they supported us. And then I'm going to come back to you and let you have the last word and take us to the next place. First of all, hurricane. I hope you and your family are safe up there, friends. Take care. And let's just pray that your mom and dad are okay in this time. I know they need special
Appreciate
medical
that.
help. And then secondly, it looks like the Eastern Washington game is 50-50. We'll talk about how that affects Florida if they don't play it. Can hurt them in the win column maybe. But let me just tell them first about our friends at Renstar Medical Research, who've been supporting this program for a long time. I am most humble and grateful to the Sorrentino family and the Brantley family for supporting this program as they have done. And they in turn have supported our community like nobody else in the medical field as well as others. And one of the things they do is they have these clinical trials which speak to the very issues of our health. There are a lot of people who have psoriasis. There's people who have dementia, etc. And they're having clinical trials on it. In fact, one on the psoriasis I'm looking into now, I think it's still going on. Psoriasis is something that can really be painful, and there's no real cure for it. And if you've been diagnosed with plaque-type psoriasis, there are some new options that could be available through the clinical trial. Now, from Renstar Medical Research, you have to be between the ages of 18 and 75. You must be diagnosed with plaque-type psoriasis and not have any other major skin conditions. You'll be able to see a dermatologist at no cost, have access to trial medication, which is the key for psoriasis, and receive compensation for time and travel. So check it out. Call them at 352-629-5800, 352-629-5800, or go on renstar.net and find out about Renstar Medical Research seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Franz Beard, take us home.
Well, here's what I want to tell folks. Florida's 2-2. Everybody wishes they were 4-0. They're not. But there's plenty to be looking forward to with this team. There's plenty to look forward to. We can all be disappointed that the Gators didn't win. We should all be disappointed anytime they don't win. But we should also be quite pleased with the fact that this team is playing hard every single ball game. They were down. They could have folded their tents against Tennessee. They were down, 38-21. They came back, could have won the game actually. I like this football team. I really like this football team a lot. I wish they could go back, and it's one of these things that if I knew then what I know now, I wish we could play that game with this team, because I think a lot of guys, if they knew then what they know now, they wouldn't have made the same mistakes. And I think that the Gators might have a better chance at being that 4-0 team. They're going to be good in the future. This is the right coach. I love the quarterback. I think he turned a corner Saturday. I think we're going to start seeing that kind of Anthony Richardson every ball game. And I think people are going to like the offense that they're going to see out of the Gators. The defense is a work in progress. The depth is really, really bad over there. But take into consideration this. 35 players have played on the defensive side of the ball. 28 of them are sophomores and freshmen. Think about that. Only 7 kids are juniors and seniors out of the 35 who played. So it's a young team. It's a team that's got a future. It's a coach that has a plan to get this thing done. I think he's going to do it, quite frankly. I like his approach. I'll tell you one other thing I like, buddy. I like the way that after a game is over and the Monday after the game, he's not sitting there talking about, boy, did you see we outgained the other team? No, he's saying, look, we gave the game away. He said it again today. We gave that game away. And he's right. They did. He's honest about it. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. He looks at this through not through orange and blue glasses, but very, very realistic glasses, and knows what he's got to do to make the corrections necessary. I like him. I think he's going to get the job done. I think that we need to get all behind him. If we do play Saturday, I hope and pray that we will load up the swamp and not have this typical thing we have whenever there's a D1 AA team coming here and people mail it in. I hope people come in here and they bring it all together.
All right, very well said, Francis. You'll see his article in Gator Bait. You always do, and
have your cup of coffee. Check out Thoughts of the Day, and I'm telling you, it'll get you going. Like, it'll get that orange and blue blood boiling and going, and you'll feel right about being a Gator. Franz, be safe. If you need anything, you call us. You know that. We're here for you. And
you know where to. You know the check will be in the mail for saying the nice things, Brenden.
I do Venmo, Franz. I'm a Venmo guy now, so it's cool.
Good night, my man. Thank you very much.
Be safe, Franz. If you need us, let us know.
Thank you.
Well,
see you. All right, there you are, Franz Beard. All right, so let's wrap it up. You had a good day today. You want to talk about it?
Oh, we all had a good day, and I think that's just the most important thing that we should say. And I actually, just more important than anything else. We got some new memberships at GatorbaitMedia.com. That's exciting. If you want to read Franz Beard, you want to read Buddy Martin, you want to be Lauren Meadows, you want to read Kyle
Curtis.
I just call him Kyle. And Kyle signed up some interns today, so we got. Literally, we've been doing this for probably 15, 20 years together, maybe something like that, since the Gator Country days. We're very excited about the future, about the business and what we're going to bring for you all, and much of the same and a lot of different. And that's all I need to say. Thanks to Joe Blackburn. Thanks to so many names, but
Freddie Wiebe.
Thanks to Coach Spurrier. Thanks to
Chris Doering,
Florida Gators Swamp News, which I'm the new admin of.
Oh boy!
Which is exciting.
Thanks to another job.
Thanks to the G&K, My Heart and Soul. You guys know Gator Nation Kingdom. If you don't know what we're talking about and you're on Facebook, check these groups out. These are really excellent ways to sort of get involved, and it'll be some of the mouthpieces in the future. Always check out the Buddy Martin Show. Always like our page. Always follow our reels. That's how we get paid, y'all. And we are starting to get paid, actually, once in a while. There's Joe right there. We're very excited about just bringing you Gator news. Somebody asked me today, and the new group, I said, what do you get paid to be an admin of that group? I said, I don't get paid. I do it because I love the Gators and love the team, and that's not to get anybody, guilt trip or anything like that. It's just really because we do love the Gators, and I want to say that more as a trend, as sort of a leeway to we got a big giant storm barreling down. If you're in the state of Florida tonight, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in Alabama, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you're in Georgia, you know what I'm talking about. Ian's coming, y'all. He's pissed. And we don't know what it's going to be. It looks like it could go coming in the East Coast. I check out Mike's weather page. I have no affiliation with that, but I find I get a lot of that Gator. I get a lot of that Florida information there. But just pay attention to what's going on. Be safe, and no matter what you believe, if you're a Gator lover, if you're a Gator whatever, remember, in all sorts of weather, we all stick together. And let's look out for each other. Let's be good to each other. Let's be kind to each other because we're going to need each other. And it's nice to be a part of a family of Gators because I'm telling you that makes a difference.
Amen.
Amen.
Good night, folks. Thanks.